Good evening, everyone. In the previous session of HRD, Global HRD, I explained about a case study because the first unit was over and I explained a case related to the first unit. So in this session, I'm going to start explaining the second unit. Okay. So first of all, I will give a brief introduction about the second unit. What are the various topics that you are going to study under the second unit? And then I'm going to explain about the first topic of the second unit, that is HRD department. Okay. So as you all can see on the screen that in the second unit, there is the main topic is HRD department, and under that various other topics are mentioned. So first of all, I am going to explain what is HRD department, what are the various functions of HRD department. Then second topic that I am going to explain is organgram. So organgram is basically the representation of the organizational structure in a picture format on a or a graphical format, that is called organgram. So first of all, I am going to explain all those things. What is organgram? What is the basic purpose of organgram? And various other aspects. Then I will explain about the various activities which are involved in the HRD department. Okay. So activities and HRD mechanism, almost most of the points are very similar. So these two topics are also very important in this unit. So activities and HRD mechanism is what are the various other functions that plays a very important part in HRD. Okay. The next one is philosophies of HRD. Philosophies here means that what is the basic idea behind HRD? What are the various other aspects related to HRD, creation of HRD, the thinking behind the creation of HRD, that I am going to explain under the philosophies of HRD. And the last topic in the first unit is qualities and role of HRD manager. So if a person wants to become a HRD manager, what kind of role the person needs to play and what are the qualities a HRD manager must possess in order to become an efficient HRD manager. Okay, so these are the various topics that you are going to study in the second unit. Okay, so let's begin the session with the first topic of the second unit, HRD department. So as you all are already aware that human resource is extremely important for every organization. That is the first and most important thing in every organization, to take care of the people who are working within the organization. Uh, it's not only about giving them proper salary, wages, and all that, but every organization need to provides many benefits to them. They need to develop them so that they can grow in their personal careers. So these are the different aspects of HR. So here HRD, as you all know, that is actually focused on the training, development and growth of an employee. So that is the most important part of HRD. So actually human resource, actually what does it actually mean? It is a comprehensive term which represents the individual who work within an organization, who are an integral part of the workforce of an organization. So those are considered to be HR. So development of these people, these employees, human resource is extremely important for every organization, so that with the development of the employees, the organization can also grow and become more and more successful. So that's why development of human resource is considered to be one of the most important function of the entire organization. And this must be given that kind of priority, because without efficient group of people, no organization can actually survive and become successful. So behind every successful organization, there is an efficient and hardworking group of people, and growth and development of that group of people must be the priority of every organization. Okay. So like I said, HRD itself is a function of HRM, and that's why it is an essential part of HRM. Like all the other functions of HRM, HRD is a function of HRM, and HRD is an essential division, because if an organization wants to create some plans and programs for the development of human resource. And what if they do not have a proper department dedicated, completely dedicated towards the growth and development of the human resource? What would be it? What would be its consequence? It would be very simple. If we do not have a particular department for HRD, everything cannot be developed in a proper manner. Everything will be executed in a just for on a formality basis, and result cannot be obtained. So in order to implement HRD in an efficient and successful manner, it is extremely necessary to set up an HRD department separately, which is only focused on creation of HRD plans, like different kinds of training and development programs and plans. And then it must involve proper execution of those plans, and then find out the outcome of those plans and programs, whether these programs have actually obtained that kind of results because of which these programs are implemented. So that's why every organization must have a separate HRD department for executing HRD plans more successfully and efficiently. Okay, so it actually focuses on, like I said, creation of HRD plans and its proper implementation, and then verifying the result, because every program has a specific purpose. And if the program is not capable or not able to achieve that kind of result, they need to make necessary modifications and changes. For that reason, evaluation of HRD program becomes essential. That's why an HRD department must be created, which can entirely focus on creation of HRD programs, its proper implementation, and then even evaluation of such programs to find out what kind of necessary modifications are required in such programs, or these programs are prepared in such a manner that it can be repeated again and again, because it gives accurate and good results. Okay, so these are the basic elements because of which and creation of HRD department becomes necessary. Okay, next portion that I'm going to explain the functions of HRD department. What are the various functions which an HRD department actually executes? So first of all, like I said, that HRD itself is a function of HR. Human resource management has a very important function, that is the development of human resource. So when a HRD department is created, their functions are properly divided so that it can execute each and every function in a proper and efficient manner. HRD department, basically the basic function of HRD department is to focus on such elements and such aspects which actually helps an organization to train and develop the human resource. And in that respect, there are three categories of functions which are executed by the HRD department. So these are the three functions that you all are seeing on the screen. First one is training and development. Second one is organizational development, and third one is career development. So each and every set of function has different categories, different elements within it, so that the HRD department can focus on each and every element, and they can execute what for which reason they are created, the reasons for which they are created. Okay. So first of all, I am going to explain the first function, that is training and development. As you all are already aware what is training and development, I will just explain it in a brief manner. So first of all, training is provided to the employees so that they can learn skills, different kinds of skills, and they can gain knowledge which are related to a specific job. These skills and different sets of skills and knowledge are necessary in order to perform a particular job efficiently. So training is provided to the employees for a specific time period and for a specific job for a specific purpose. Development is little bit broader than training, because training is completely focused on one type of job, and it is a very short term, but development is a long term process because it involves overall growth and development of all the employees. It is not related to a specific job, but it is related to improving the potentials of each and every employee so that these employees can move ahead in their career. These employees can become more and more successful, and these employees can be eligible to perform jobs or to perform higher level jobs in future. So that is the actual function of training and development. Within training and development, there are other elements also which play a very important role in HRD. So the first function which comes under training and development is employee orientation. So first of all, what is orientation? Each and every employee must have proper information regarding the organization, must have proper information regarding the job which he or she is doing. So employee orientation basically means providing knowledge and information about the organization, the rules, regulations, the policies of the organization, the different types of rules and regulations related to the job for which a particular person is appointed. So orientation means making an employee comfortable so that the person can work in a proper way within the organization, which may be considered as the first step of training and development. Because when you join the organization, you do not just immediately start doing your job. Before that, you need to understand the organization, the working climate of the organization, the working conditions, the culture of the organization, what is considered appropriate within an organization, which may be considered inappropriate in other organization. So every organization has different set of rules and regulations, policies, different elements. So these informations, these rules, regulations, and policies must be the information related to these elements must be provided to each and every employee so that they can understand the environment within which they are supposed to work and how they're supposed to cope up with this new kind of environment and new situation. So that is the basic purpose of employee orientation. Okay. The second function of training and development is skill and technical training. So what is the basic reason of a person's appointment? Basically, each and every person is appointed to do a particular job, and for doing that, they need to have some kind of knowledge regarding the job, and they must have knowledge or they must have those kind of skills and technical skills which are necessary to perform a job. For example, a carpenter cannot do his or her job if the person does not know what kind of skills are required, if the person does not have those kind of skills. So that becomes extremely essential. So for whatever job a person is appointed, the necessary skills, the skills which are required to do that kind of job must be taught to the candidates, to the employees, and they must be trained according to that. They must be given technical training. They must go through the training programs which will provide them proper knowledge regarding the job, regarding various aspects of the job, and they must also teach different kinds of technical skills which are necessary to perform their job. Okay. The next one is coaching. So coaching actually makes an employee understand about his or her responsibility related to the job, because every job has certain kinds of duty within it, and these employees must be held responsible for their actions. So each and every employee must understand the responsibility of each and every job for which they are appointed. If you're working at a lower level job, your responsibility may not be very high, but you can be still held accountable for your actions. So that kind of understanding must be there. If you're doing something, you must be aware that you need to face the consequences of your performance. If you have performed really well, you will be appreciated. But if you keep on repeating the same kind of mistake again and again, then there may be many kind of problems regarding it. So that's why coaching actually makes an employee understand about his or her responsibility which is attached to the job. Okay, and they need to also learn that how to work with other people. They should not treat other people as like some other colleague who is working within the organization. Each and everyone must have the feeling of a team member. So they must have proper and cordial relationship between each other, so that the work can be coordinated properly, the work can be managed properly. So that kind of coaching is provided. Coaching regarding the responsibility of the job, coaching regarding understanding the responsibilities of other people's job, at the same time creating an environment where each and every member must respect other members of the organization, work as a team, and they can also understand the situation of their team members. So that is coaching. The next function which comes under training and development is counseling. So why counseling is necessary? Because as human beings, you must have heard that each and every person must keep their personal and professional life separate. But in many situations, in many circumstances, this may not be possible. Many people are affected by their personal problem, and that is reflected in their performance. So these types of counseling are actually going to help the employees to separate their personal issues from their professional life, so that their personal issues won't pull the person back, won't that basically the personal problems won't let the person achieve their professional goals. So they need to understand how to separate these things, personal and professional life. At the same time, counseling is also provided to solve various issues which are within the organization. Suppose you're working in an organization and you have certain issues regarding your superior, regarding your subordinate, or the people or your colleagues, your peers. You have certain issues regarding anything. So you need to speak about them. You need to understand whether is it just your feeling or actually something like that is happening. So counseling is not only required for helping the employees to create a balance between personal and professional life, but at the same time, counseling is also provided to solve various kinds of misunderstandings, conflict, different kinds of issues which are within the organization. Okay. And the last point of training and development is management, training, and development. So management and training development is specifically for supervisors, for the managers, and all. They need to also understand how to manage people, how to make them work efficiently, how to supervise them. So different kinds of training and development program are organized so that these supervisors, manager can create a healthy relationship between them and the subordinates. They can make them work efficiently. They need to understand how to manage a group of people efficiently. So that is also an integral part of training and development. HRD also involves this kind of function, providing necessary amount of training to supervisors. See, an organization cannot give a bunch of people to a person and ask him to supervise them without giving prior training to the supervisor. So even if people are working in a middle level section of the organization, they need to get trained regarding management of people, regarding coordination of work among the group of people. So these type of training is also provided to to the supervisors and the managers. Okay, so this is the first category of function, which is an important part of HRD department. So the second category of function of HRD department is organizational development. Now, like I said, with the development of human resource, organization will develop. But at the same time, organization need to also focus on various other aspects so that it can become successful on an overall basis. So that is extremely important for every organization. So basically, organizational development is focused on increasing the overall effectiveness of the organization. At the same time, they need to also focus on uh, development of the employees who are part of the organization. So basically organizational development operates at two levels, macro and micro. So macro level actually is focused on the growth and development of organization, entire organization. It considers the organization as a whole and operates in order to make the organization more successful and more effective. But micro level of organizational development focuses on individual small group of people, and how by satisfying these individuals and small group of people, how the organization can become, how the goals of the entire organization can be achieved. So organizational development actually operates at two levels. Okay, so these are the different types of functions are that actually that are part of organizational development. So the first one is employee satisfaction survey. So this survey actually indicates the level of satisfaction among the employees related to their job. So to what extent their employees are satisfied regarding their job, regarding the various benefits provided by the management, regarding the facilities provided by the management, regarding the salary, wages, each and every aspect of the organization, working condition, how the grievances are managed by the organization. So these survey, employee satisfaction survey, measures the level of satisfaction and what level of what level of satisfaction an employee has regarding his or her job and various other aspects of the organization. Okay. The next one is performance management. See, performance management means managing the performance of, means what kind of system they have to enhance the performance of the employees, what kind of methods they use for performance appraisal and other things. So this performance management, this need to the level of, sorry, this performance management must be conducted to find out whether all the employees are, the performance of all the employees are properly balanced or not, whether they're trying to enhance their level of performance or not, and whether the management is actually satisfied with the performance of the employees. All these things become part of performance management. So management of employee performance using different kinds of creative and different methods of enhancing the performance of the employees, at the same time satisfying the management regarding the various aspects of performance management. Okay, the next one is potential. So you must have heard that potential, the true potential of a person is like an iceberg. What is an iceberg? See, above the sea level, you can only see a tip of the iceberg, but the major portion of the iceberg is beneath the sea. So that is actual potential of each and every person. The potential that is observed by others, that can be seen by others, is a little fraction of our total potential. So our total potential need to be analyzed, need to be the management must try to bring out the inner potential, the hidden potentials of each and every candidate, each and every employee. And for that reason, they need to execute, perform potential appraisal. They need to analyze the level of potential each and every employee has. They need to use various kinds of techniques and methods to enhance, to polish, to mold the potentials of the employees. Now, if the employees get an opportunity for potential appraisal, if their potentials are increased or to some extent they even people are aware about their potential, they try to give their full performance, show their full potential. So what is the basic reason of potential appraisal? The basic reason behind this is that the management can actually utilize the potential of their employees, so that no employee in an organization can sit idle or do nothing, even if they have the capability of doing much more than what they are actually doing. So that's why potential appraisal becomes necessary, so that the employees can be utilized to an optimum level. Their capabilities, their potentials, their talent can be utilized to an optimum level. Okay. The next one is attitude management. So attitude here basically means the communication style, the way they represent themselves, the way they associate with their colleagues and how they work with them. So that also becomes a part of organizational development. Because when you're part of an organization, you need to have a proper kind of attitude, proper kind of personality, because as an employee, you represent your organization. So attitude management is also very essential so that they can manage a particular set of attitudes among the employees. They can show the employees that what is the right kind of behavior, how they must behave within an organization. So attitude management is also an important function of organizational development. The last function of the organizational development is policy making. So each and every employee, they must also have some kind of suggestion regarding the policy of the organization, because these policies not only affect the operations of the organization, but at the same time, they also affect the people who are working within the organization. So whenever such kind of policies are created or some kind of changes take place within the existing policy, the suggestions of the employees must be considered. So policy making for the overall growth and development of the organization is very important. And considering the opinion and suggestions of the employees are also an important part of it. Okay. So this is the second major category of functions of HRD department. The third one is career development. So this is specifically related to the employees. When you join an organization, you are not meant to do one type of job throughout your life. You're not supposed to be in one organization throughout your life. Even if the organization is not considering promoting you or giving you what you actually deserve. So what many organizations do, they, like I said, from records of performance appraisal, from the records of potential appraisal, they understand the level of capability, the level of knowledge and skills a particular employee has. And then they plan the career for the employees. They understand the potentials of the employees and they communicate with them regarding their career, how they can grow and achieve their target, they can fulfill their aspirations by staying within the organization. Because in the organization you will get many opportunities for promotion, and you can also get different kinds of challenging jobs. So nowadays organization also focus on career development, because if employees are not satisfied, if employees are not given opportunity to get promotion, to move to a higher level, to show their actual potential, then definitely the person is going to leave the organization and go to a different organization in which he or she can get different kinds of opportunity uh, to fulfill their goals, fulfill their dreams, and fulfill their aspirations. Okay, so that's why career development is also an integral part of HRD department. Okay, so career development is basically an ongoing process which every individual progresses through by going through various types of stages, and each and every stage is unique in itself. They have different set of issues, they have different set of responsibilities and various other elements. So each and every stage of career has different aspects, and from each and every stage, every employee learns something new. They become better and better when they cross many stages. From first stage to second stage, they learn a lot more things. So that is about career development. So under career development, there are two important aspects. First one is career planning and second one is career management. So career planning is basically regarding planning the career of an employee. What are the different jobs a person must do in order to have a successful career? First of all, you need to understand the aspirations, desires, and the goals a person has set for himself or herself. And then they have to plan according to it. What are the various kinds of job which a person needs to do in order to make this plan successful? So that is about career planning. And then comes career management. Career management means making the plan successful, proper execution of the plan, and how management what kind of opportunity management provides you, so that your plan that you have created for yourself with proper counseling with some superiors or any other expert, the plan that you have created, how it can be properly executed, whether it can be executed in a faster pace or it needs to move in a proper slow pace, so that you can understand in each and every stage of your career. So that is about career development. So these are the three important functions with different types of subcategories under it regarding the HRD department. So in next session, I am going to explain about, like I said, organogram, the pictorial description of organization, like organization chart and all that. So in next session, I am going to explain about that. So that's it for today's session. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.